Please give a warm Seattle welcome for Mr. Seth Freeman on guitar.
You want off my CD up here going out?
When the world was against you, I was the only one on your side. And when the world turned against me, that's when you ain't tried to hide. Well, I tried to say nothing, and I tried not to be seen. Every time I turn around, fingers pointed at me. Put the blame on me once again. Put the blame on me. Well, I thought you were my friend. The blame on me, even if it's a lie. Put the blame on me. Put the blame on me. Well, I tried to make it better as time went on. And who's the one that made things right and everything wrong? Well, I tried to say nothing, and I tried not to be seen. Every time I turn around, the fingers pointed at me. Put the blame on me once again. Put the blame on me. But I thought you were my friend. The blame on me, even if it's a lie. Put the blame on me. 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 You don't have to apologize. Oh, put the blame on me, even if it's a lie. Put the blame on me. Put the blame on me.
Hey, thank you so much, Peter.
Seth Freeman from Little Rock, Arkansas, and not really the city, right?
Well, that's the music scene. You know, that's the music scene I'm from, and I work there, and I actually graduated from Cabot, which is kind of like Beery into Seattle or something.
Okay.
Well, don't take that the wrong way. I just meant distance.
So what I'm getting at, I guess, you grew up on stage, but you're a third-generation guitar player. It says here in your bio, an extensive family, a big portion of them play music. So really, I'm getting at the fact that you grew up playing music a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. From like, what age? 3 or something
4.
ridiculous? 4?
I tried at 3, but I mean, I was starting for real at 4.
Okay.
Learning gospel hymnals and stuff, you know, some bluegrass songs. And some stuff like You Are My Sunshine. And they really forced it hard on me, you know. It made me. It wasn't like, here's a guitar, you can do this if you want. It was like,
Right.
get in here and do this.
So somebody saw that you had talent at a young age.
Well, I think they hoped. I was so young they couldn't have seen much, you know. And they were all so good that they didn't need me. It's just they wanted me to play, so they forced me. I was 12 years old before I realized I really had something.
Okay. So they played very well. I mean, they still play very well.
Yes,
Your
yes.
grandpa and your dad?
Well, my grandpa is dead, but yes, he played great, and my dad still plays. And he plays multiple instruments. My aunt was a piano player, my grandmother, they all sang. And then my grandma was one of 14, my grandpa was one of 9, and there's only one in my grandpa's family that don't play, and only 2 in my grandma's.
Wow. So you had music everywhere, and
Yeah,
conversation about music, and
family reunions were, more people than in this room was my family reunion, and we'd sit in huge circles of players, and the music would never change, but the players would. People would just get up and go eat and change out in different groups of people, but the music never stopped, you know. So I'd get in with the guys I wanted to, playing the songs I wanted to and stuff. Which growing up was like Hank Sr., you know, Johnny Cash. That's what my grandpa and them played, stuff like that. My dad always liked blues and the southern rock and stuff like that, and he showed me that. So we were in little circles, broken off, playing that stuff too.
And your dad is a real song man. I mean, he knows a good song.
Yeah, he's a songwriter first and foremost, and he really knows a good song.
And he taught you about what it makes a good song.
Yes, for sure.
That's a whole other craft.
It is.
Besides learning your instrument.
Exactly. I know a lot of great guitar players that are just great guitar players. They don't really know how to front a band or even cue a band or definitely not pick songs, you know. But
when this stuff comes naturally to you, you've been seeing it, being a part of it since
right.
You could.
Since birth, practically.
Practically.
You know, I never sang though. I was just kind of shy and embarrassed of my voice growing up, and everybody was such good singers that I didn't have to sing. It was like, well, you know, why sing when they can do this, you know?
Right.
But I ran into a fork in the road just trying to start bands and play material I want and stuff, so I started singing and stumbled upon Bob Dylan and Hendrix, of course, and said, hell, if they can do it, I can do it.
Well, and you make the guitar sing. You make it sound like a singing voice. So you've studied voice. You have to have studied voice.
Well, that's what got me started singing, really. I got into slide, and I wanted to play slide, and most of the good slide players I like sound like a black woman singing gospel music or something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's got phrasing and some vibrato and, you know, sometimes no vibrato, things like that.
I can hear a heartbeat from 1,000 miles, and the heavens open every time she smiles. And when I come to her, that's where I belong, and I'll run into her like a river song. She give me love, 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 the crazy love. She give me love, 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 crazy love. Such a fine sense of humor when I'm feeling low down. In the morning to her when the sun goes down. Take away my trouble, take away my grief, take away my heartache on a night like this, and give me love, 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 a crazy love. So give me love, 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 crazy love. Well, I need you in the daytime, I need you more at night. I wanna wrap my arms around you, kiss and love you, kiss and hold you tight. And when I'm returning from so far away, and it's all sweet loving to brighten up my day. Can it make me righteous? Can it make me whole? Can it make me mellow down into my soul? And give me love, love, crazy love. So give me love, 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 crazy love, 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 crazy love, 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 crazy love.
Thank you.
Walk with me, Lord. Walk with me. Walk with me, Lord. Please walk with me. While I'm on this tedious journey, walk with me, Lord, walk with me. Hold my hand, Lord, hold my hand. Hold my hand, Lord, please hold my hand. While I'm on this tedious journey, walk with me, Lord, please walk with me. Ooh, 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 ooh. While I'm on this tedious journey, walk with me, Lord, please walk with me.
Thank you.
I thought of Derek Trucks the first time I saw you
Yeah.
play. That's definitely.
See, a lot of people think I have studied Derek Trucks, but ironically, we just have the same hero, so we sounded the same before I heard of him.
Right.
But yes, sadly, he's ahead of me in the game, and he's the Allman Brothers' nephew, so he had some points on me there. But yes, I like Derek Trucks, and that's a compliment. So,
Name some of the other people that you just admire as players. Or.
well, ironically, Mr. Orville Johnson's here tonight. And I have this CD called The Legends of the Incredible Lap Steel Guitar. And it's got people like Jeff Lang on it, and Greg Lease, Mr. Orville Johnson. And that was actually, I didn't know who any of them was. I just knew I really liked that CD, you know, and I would really pull from it and just listen to it enough to... I've yet to honestly sit down and learn stuff note for note or anything from it, but I've been playing so long that now, though, I just can hear something and like visualize how to play it. The last thing that comes, the lyrics. I can normally play it before I have the lyrics, but I've been listening to this and just guys like that, and you know, growing up it was more like the guys everybody's heard of, you know, Elmer James and Dwayne Allman, and I honestly wasn't into a whole lot of slide growing up, but the one song that always haunted me and I always loved was Sleepwalk by Santo and Johnny. And that's what eventually made me spend about 3 weeks of sounding like a dying cat in a room to learn to play that song.
What about Sacred Steel? Have you found?
Yes, you know, my grandpa is one of the Hall of Famers. He's a Mike Miller, and when Zane Beck died, Zane Beck was a big pioneer, and when he died, he willed Mike Miller his steel, which I was supposed to get. It was stolen. There's been so much stuff stolen from me, it's crazy, but I guess I wasn't supposed to have it. But again, I grew up around like some heavyweights, and so I didn't dare go there for a while, but they're dying out and it needs to be kept alive, so I've got into it lately. And I know Orville knows some people around here that he was telling me about. Dan, I don't want to get his last name wrong, but I know his name's Dan that plays steel or whatever.
Tyak?
Yeah.
Tyak?
Yeah. I'm supposed to play pedal steel. I've not got one yet. They're kind of expensive, and I'm a lap steel guy, so I've been sticking with that. But I'm into it, and I was influenced by it. But the thing is them guys barely move their hands, you know? It's a lot of this kind of slow ocean motion, and everything's with their feet, you know? They're doing all this, and I do this. So if I could ever get that down, you know, I could probably be pretty productive. But
what about Robert Randolph?
Robert Randolph's great.
Yeah. Makes me want to get naked.
Yeah, he kind of... Nobody was doing that at the time when he come out, which is what's cool. I like, there's guys with better tone than him, but he's an amazing player. To me, I'm really into tone. And to me, I'm into some players that aren't that great, but have just some great tone and they really get the point across. And Robert is an amazing player, but a little bit like 80s rock tone or something.
Okay. He's got an ear on him. You see what I'm saying? Been listening to music a bit, have you?
Yeah.
Well, now, you had a major obstacle in 2008. You broke your back, and your recovery took you to Alaska for about a year, where you started gigging, and now you're a celebrity when you walk down the street in Anchorage. Is that all healed? Are you good now?
Yeah, well, I have a 6-inch titanium rod in my spine, so...
Ouch.
I mean, I'm healed, but it's permanent because the bones were literally crushed into powder, a few of them, my vertebrae, so they don't per se heal, you know? So there's a crushed one, a good one, and a fractured one, and they stuck the 6-inch titanium across it and called it permanent. So I used to be highly agile and stuff, and would be a little bit more wild and do things like skydiving and stuff, which I don't do anymore. But
all right.
But yes, I'm healed. They told me I'd never walk or play again, and I walked here and played. So.
And carried your amp too.
Yeah, well, Mondo did today. I got my tech now.
Thank you, Mondo. That also taught you some things, didn't it? I mean, you learned.
Did. Well, you know, because being a lifelong student in a family of musicians, first of all, backing up, I was 12, like I said before, I realized I had something. I thought every family did this. I was like, what? You don't play? You know, my friends were like, whoa. So then I got into it more. I moved to Maryland and got in like the first band I was ever in and got into it more. But what you asked me, I was talking about that.
Well, just learning from the accident.
Yeah, okay, learning from the accident. Where I was getting at with that was I took things for granted. You know, I always did it. I thought I'd always do it. It was just what I did, and it was taken from me. So I learned a lot. You know, it changed me as a person. It changed my playing. It bettered it. It gave me something to write about, something to say, something to play for, and it more than anything, it made me realize I had a lot of friends that were, you know, there for me and just kind of stepped up, said, "Hey, we're here. And we like what you're doing, and we'd like to see you get back at it."
Right.
Which was motivation. It took me a while, but I'm back at it.
Harry hippie lies asleep in the shade. Life don't bug him, cause he thinks he's gonna be made. Thank you, Mom. Never worried about nothing in particular. Might even set free prayers on sunset. Well, I like to help him when he's down, but you can't help a man when he's sleeping on the ground. like a bottle of water. Harry just floats through life singing sha-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na, sha-na-na, sha-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na-na, sha-na-na. Mary hippie, that's Harry's lady, scrounging pennies together, just trying to feed Harry's baby. She could tell you a story so incredible, man, make you wanna take food home, help her put it on the table. But I like to help a man when he's down, but you can't help a man when he's sleeping on the ground. Sorry, you're too much weight to carry around. Sha-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na, sha-na-na, 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 sha-na-na-na-na-na. Mary hippie, that's Harry's lady, scrounging pennies together, just trying to feed Harry's baby. She could tell you a story so incredible, man, make you wanna take food home, help her put it on the table. Well, I like to help a man when it's down, but you can't help a man when he's somewhere out of town. Sorry, Harry, think I'm gonna put you down. Sha-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na-na, sha-na-na, 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 sha-na-na-na-na-na. Harry, hippie.